Alright, here I am again, Russell Reagan. I got these, I got 6 of these that I'm going to put wax in. And you'll notice these have been used. And I reuse them all the time. But you see they got, and these were old, they got old wax worm mess on them and stuff. The first thing I do with them is I clean them up with fire. I'll take this thing right here and I burn them. Now you wonder why I burn them? But I'm gonna tell you something. I've had these things for about 3 years sitting out there. I just checked and make sure you can see me. I've had these things for about 3 years sitting out there, and you can take those things, you can clean them up, and you guess that all the wax worms and any hive beetle eggs or any of that stuff is all gone. It's all dead. They're not. I'll take these things sometimes and just take a screwdriver and go through them just to get the old wax out of them, and there'll be live wax worms in there and hive beetles hiding in the crevices. I don't know how they live. I guess they go into hibernation and just wait till it's time to live again until they get in a hive where some wax is. But they sure will. They'll live. If you put them back in that hive, guess what? You've got an infestation in your hive. And that's not nice. I don't like infestations in my hive. I fight that all the time. Wax worms and wax moths, the best thing you can do is keep your hive strong. Keep your hive strong and they'll keep them out. I don't care how strong your hive is when it comes to hive beetles. Those things get in your hive, they'll lay eggs. I don't care how strong they are. But what you can do is you can use a hive beetle trap. It's a plastic trap that you fill up with oil. Now they have hive beetle oil that they sell, but all you need to do is go to the store and buy vegetable oil. That's all it is. And you pour that thing halfway full of vegetable oil, and the bees, they'll corral those hive beetles. They can't kill them. They can't sting through their shell. From what I've read, the shell's too hard and the bee can't sting through the shell. So they can't kill them. But if you put a trap in there, the bees will corral them. And they'll corral them up to that hive beetle trap. And I always put it in the top super on the back corner. And I always use the back right corner. I guess because I'm right-handed, I don't think it matters. Just put it on the back corner. And you go in there and you'll see, even if the hive beetle's not in the trap, they'll all be up there at that corner. They'll be all hiding under the trap and everything else, anything they can do. But it's a good spot when you're checking your hives. Just take that top off. Take that top off real quick and get in there. And if them hive beetles are not in that trap, they'll be running all around on that top frame that that trap's on. And man, I just squish them. I just use my finger and I just squish them. I was in a hive yesterday and I hadn't checked it this year. It's a Beehive. It's got like 6 supers on it. Beehive, got a lot of bees in it. And I opened that thing up and I bet I bet there were 50 hive beetles running around on that top frame, and I would kill them just as hard as I could kill them. But what had happened was, that's the most I've ever seen like that. What had happened was I hadn't done anything with the hive beetle trap, and there was so many hive beetles in it that it was just dried up. It was just full of hive beetles, and the oil was just filling them, you know, around them. There wasn't any oil to catch anymore. So I took that out and threw it away, and I put 2 new ones in with oil about 3/4 of the way up, just as much oil as I could get in there without spilling. And you got to remember this: if you got hive beetle traps with oil in it, don't just grab your supers and throw them off, because you're going to spill your oil all over the place, and you won't do that. So be real careful with that. Just be thinking about that, because when I first started using hive beetle traps, I did that a few times. I spilled my oil everywhere, and the bees, that oil gets on them bees, and the bees don't like it either. It'll mess the bees up. I think it'll kill them too. So the oil's hard to get off. They can't hardly clean that off. So put your hive beetle traps in your hive, and that's the way to take care of them hive beetles. That's the best way. I've used a bunch of different methods. There's a new method out there where you take a napkin and stick it under the bottom, and the fray part of the napkin catches them hive beetles. Well, it also catches your bees, so it don't work too well for me. So I didn't like that method. It's supposed to be the new up and coming method. Now what I do, I take this steel brush, and these are old ones. Remember, these are old ones. I don't have to do this on new ones. The new ones, you just put them together and put your stuff in them, and you're good to go. But it takes me just as long to make a new one as it does to clean up an old one. And I'm saving money, because I bought this once, and this is like the 3rd time I've used it in a hive. So that's 2 times I've saved the money. So I only bought this one time, used it 3 times. This is number 4. And I just clean them up. You know, I burned all that stuff, so I just clean all that burned stuff off of it. And that way your frames will be clean enough so that your wax can fit down in there. And you don't want to stick all that junk in your hive anyway, which most of it's gone since I burned them. I call it firing them. I was gonna sell some frames one time, and this was before I started reusing them. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, like, oh, these are dirty, so I can't reuse them. Well, they dirty, clean them up, you know? Any of your stuff, hives, whatever you got, anything you got that's dirty, clean it up, man. And you can take care of any pests, anything that gets in these things, hive beetles, wax worms, wax moths. Of course, your wax moths is going to fly off. And anything that will hurt your bees, I guarantee you throw that fire on there, and you're taking care of them. You got rid of them. You ain't got to worry about it. All right, this is number 6. Just about done. I'll show you a little trick on these. You can see these frames. That frame just has a slot and a slot. It's not an open bar, it's a slot and a slot. No holes on the end bar. No holes. And I'm getting ready to put wax in that. And you say, man, that ain't gonna hold. Well, they ain't got enough stuff to hold it. Oh yeah. If there's any mites on there, kill the mites too. And that's the big thing, man. Get rid of them daggone mites. I don't hardly have any mites anymore. I'll tell you later how I got rid of them, but I ain't really got them on. So what I did was I went to the store and bought this Boss Stitch stapler. And I got a compressor sitting over there in the corner behind you. I went in and bought a big one. I had one of them little ones. I had that little set up for the little compressor and the little Boss Stitch stapler and all that, and it worked good. But the problem is all that stuff is pretty cheap junk. And about a year is all I got out of it. Well, I've been using this for about 5-6 years. This Boss Sticks, and Boss Sticks makes good stuff. A stapler, and I use on the end bars just to hold the wax in. I use these big old 1/4 inch by 1.5 inches. That's 1.5 inches long. You can buy 2 inch if you want to, but you know, I tried 2 inch and it was just overkill. But that's the big one. And what I do is I just go to the end, pop 2 of them in there. Boom. Other end. Look at that. Now I got this and this and this and this to hold my wax in. So what I do to get my wax in there is I just take these things and I take one end of it and pull it out so I can get my wax in. You see how quick that was? Look what I did. So one end is sticking out still, and one end I got pulled out. See, I got them pulled out. And I'll stick my wax in from this side, okay? And it's just regular wax. I mean, nothing special. It's wax with the wires in it, not with the hooks on it. No hooks, okay? You don't need hooks for this. No hooks, okay? You just take that and stick it in there. Put it in one slot. Get in there real good in that slot. And then you just push it in the other slot. See, it's free. I take it with my fingers and do that. And you can see it is free in there. And what I do now is I take my finger on that right there and push it in. Push this one in with my thumb and meet them. And just make sure they're in the center. Same thing with that one. Same thing with this one. Just push them in with my thumb and my forefinger. And look at there. That ain't gonna come out of there. Now the bee, you say, well, that's not enough. That's not enough. Well, the bee's gonna fill that with wax. It's gonna pull all that out and fill it with wax, and it's gonna attach that base wax. That base wax ain't going nowhere. All right, now I know what you're saying now. Well, when I get ready to extract it, it's gonna blow out. Well, I use a radial extractor. If you don't know what that is, it's not where you stick the frame in and it rolls around like this. It's where you stick the frame in and it rolls around like this. Okay? The radial extractor. So that it extracts the honey this way, not this way. Okay? So there's no blowout. But I always start, you know, on those extractors, you don't have to go to Mach speed at the start to do it. You just start it off slow and get that honey start draining out, and then increase the speed, and then go high. And it don't take much longer than just regular extracting honey, and it'll extract that honey without any blowouts. I've never had a blowout with these made just like that with a radial extractor. I've never had one. So it works great. If you decide to do it this way, you got to buy a Boss Stick or any kind of stapler you want. And I don't know if they got staplers that don't use air, that aren't compressor driven, but mine's compressor driven. I got a nice compressor over there. It's a big 30-gallon Campbell Hausfield. It's lasted me for, I don't even know how long I've had it, but it sits over there. It's the only thing I do with it. Well, I fill up tires too. I mean, it's a good thing to have. You can do all kind of stuff with them. But there's one. I'm gonna do it again. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put all the staplers. I was just showing you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop all these staples in so I'm ready. Okay. I do this a lot faster when I'm not filming it. When I'm not filming it, I just roll through these things, man. I'll get about 50 or 100 of this thing, and I'll get them made up or cleaned up, and I'll just roll through them. And you can get your rhythm going on these things right here. And man, you can roll through these things, and you'll be like, why did I ever do it any other way? This is the easiest way I've ever seen in my life. And this is, you know, even if you have end holes in these things, say, well, I can't use that method because I got end holes already. Yeah, you can. You just staple your staples above or below the end hole. You just, you know, just ignore the end hole, act like it ain't there, and put your staple in there, and do it just like this. It's not a problem. Just act like there ain't no end holes there. Just don't staple your staple to the end hole or it won't hold. Just go above it or below it, and it's fine. Alright, so here we are. It's the same thing. I'm going to sit here and do this on 6 of these things. Well, I got 2 of them made now, so I only got 4 more to go. So I'm not going to bore you. You've seen what I did. Staple, well, I cleaned it up first. I used fire to do that. That's just a little, you'll see that that's just a Burns-O-Matic propane tank, little propane tank that the plumbers use. The plumbers use these. And I got one that once you turn the fire on, you have to light it. But I noticed this one on Amazon the other day, and you push the button and it clicks it, and it's got its own igniter in there. And I like that a whole lot better. It's even quicker. So you can get quick as you want, man. You can buy the stuff that you need to be as quick as you want. And I'm not going to bore you by making you sit here and watch me do the rest of these. So I'm going to turn it off. And once I get ready to put them in the hive, I'll carry you back out there and let you see that, okay? Thank you for joining me. Bye.